Hey everyone, this is the Effect Community Call, and here's Jesse to start us off.
Yeah, it feels strange to not call it the DAO call, right? I also struggle. I still call it the DAO call internally, but yeah, it's sort of a community call now until the DAO is back in action. Um, Not like, of course, we don't have the DAO platform for voting anymore, but I'm really happy to see all the usual faces and active DAO participants that are still attending and around. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Great to have you guys here. And this call is definitely also to get the community soon to be a DAO again input on things that are happening. For this call, yeah, usually I start off with as usual with some updates. Like we have been working very hard on the product to get it out there. We shared a few screenshots on X like recently, like yesterday, I think, and that's because we are like very confident that it's nearly there. Like we have on the technical front basically covered all the elements that need to go in our first product release. And yeah, the goal, of course, like just like in the last call, that was a little while back. I think I don't know, maybe a month or so ago. Um, we have made like significant steps to getting the product out there. Like I think we can cover like a few details of what we've implemented now. I think is one of our things that we managed to add in this release that we're very happy with is like the login system. Jeffrey can explain this better, like in a little bit. I'm sure he can highlight how that works, but we're pretty happy with that extra feature. And the main efforts of our team are now going to getting the complete picture polished and ready. So when we think about like the onboarding procedure and who can join the early access, also we're aiming to start with like some private internal, like the beta testing of the platform pretty soon, mainly to see if everything works and if we can get feedback from users before we really put it out into the registered group of users. Yeah, those are the primary things we're working on. I think like I will hand it over to Jeff to highlight the like I think the login system would be nice to just describe. And
Yeah, sure.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
take
I
it
can
from
talk a
there.
little bit about, well, as Jesse said, and as some of you already probably seen from the screenshot that Rochelle shared with you yesterday. Um, yeah, we put a lot of effort in. We try to really put a lot of effort into the onboarding of the platform, right? Because yeah, it's a very important thing. People have to really understand what's going on. It's pretty technical. So we really have to guide users on getting onboarded in the right way. And a big component of that is, of course, yeah, not being able to mandatorily require like a wallet for people to start doing tasks. That's a big thing for us. Always has been. We've already tried this like many months ago on EOS as well, but we've never really got to the sweet spot that we thought was right on the onboarding part. But uh, basically right now what we're trying to implement is, well, what we've already have working on the testing environment is a Web3 auth, and basically it's a system that uses a Torus network to basically allow people to log in to your social account, like a Google account or a Twitter or Discord account. And behind the scenes, it makes a private key and it attaches it to that account, and it's all decentralized. So it splits the private key basically into encrypted parts, and then it distributes it across like a decentralized network. And then these parts of your private key, they're encrypted, and it can only be reconstructed when you log in with your social account. So it's a very cool technical feature that yeah, it's basically a perfect fit for our platform, right? Because we want people to not have this roadblock of, hey, you need to have a crypto wallet before you are able to do tasks. Of course, eventually you're gonna need a crypto wallet. Now, at least, maybe later that will also change, but for now, for sure, you need a crypto wallet at the end to settle your payments, right? So after you've done tasks, you're collecting payments. That's all fine. You don't need any wallet, nothing. But of course, claiming these payments, getting actually like paid out will require a wallet. But that can be whenever you want. So whenever you're ready to basically delve into, like, I don't know, maybe getting like a Phantom wallet going and putting some Solana on it.
You cut out there.
Yeah, same for me. I can't hear Jeff either. Guess that's an issue on his side.
So would you? I guess we can give him a minute, see if he reconnects.
Jeff, let us know when you're back.
Looks like
I'm not
his
sure what.
laptop died. I think he'll just have to restart or something.
We can continue to explain it. So, like he was saying, you don't need a crypto wallet until at the end when you're ready to basically like claim your payments. So you can log in using your social accounts or your email or your phone, whatever, and you can go ahead and get started. You know, connect to the manager node and start doing tasks and things. And then once you're ready to claim the effect that you've earned, then you'll need a wallet. So I think it's really nice because a lot of people missed the feature we had before we went on to the blockchain where you could log in, you know, with your email and password. It was really easy. So they found a way to beautifully combine all the different ways into one seamless thing. So I think this will be really positive when we go to onboard workers.
Yeah, it seems like a good way to onboard people who are not familiar with the crypto or Solana.
And I'm back. Oh my God, sorry guys, my laptop died. Didn't have it plugged in. Nice. All right, where was I? Yeah, so of course the whole wallet part is a pretty big roadblock, right? For a lot of people trying to just work on the platform. So yeah, we're really happy with getting that feature in there and getting it working properly, basically. I don't know if you guys already took off from where I left, but that's all I wanted to say on that part. So
Awesome. Yeah, we just recapped a little bit, like Rochelle recapped a little bit the added value of that system, like how it used to be back in the days that people used to be able to register with their email address and do tasks. It fits our user group really well. So we basically achieved the same effect, but with this system, the nice thing is that we don't lose on the technical side of things. It's way nicer for us as we don't lose decentralization. People are still in charge of, like, there is still a private key involved, and the cryptography part it still works without Effect needing to host like a central server and be like a company in between the worker and the network. The worker still is directly participating in the network while like not having to manage its own key, but like that's all taken away, like it doesn't have to be aware of it. And of course the users we're gonna work with, they're like, we want talents all over the world. I think that definitely a large part of the talent we want in the workforce is not going to be very crypto savvy, not necessarily. We've seen this firsthand a lot of times, like primarily with the translation for we had that none of them, like a small amount of the translators were very crypto savvy, but it was very useful talent in the network to get value. So we can still cater to that group. And that's also, like, I think the user experience we're developing in the first version that we're going to get out, we just want to get it out as soon as we can with people we know and that are slightly more knowledgeable. But in the end, like once the product gets more refined, we definitely want people to just be able to open the app and without having a crypto like big knowledge base, they should be able to understand what's happening. And you're going like just by being available in the network, you're earning this sort of passive like value that unlocks over time. And then once you get assigned tasks that you execute, like anyway, that it should make a lot of sense for someone that he understands how he gets rewarded and when. And also what we're adding in the app now is that we're creating this realization of people that contribute, that they have to take it like serious, that their work is, because I think this has been one issue we had so many times before. When it's too easy to join and just press the submit button, then you get people that don't take it too serious, and that gets sloppy. And so we want to, like, in this design and in the user interactions, we want to make sure that we really cater to the sense of that it's important that people do the work well. And this is so important with the AI age now, is obviously we as a network need to like hyper focus and be extremely good at the section of the market that's not covered by LLMs, like that's not done by AI. That's where the human input is valuable and where we really need humans to interact. So it's really important that we make a good distinction between the tasks that can be done by LLMs or by AIs and the ones that we have people interacting with the network and adding value. So this is one part where we have the social login system, and I think it's a fundamental part. Else we will never be able to get to that audience. Went on a little bit of a tangent, but super exciting, this feature that we have now. Let me look around. Is there any other inputs on the topic, or like I haven't? Let me find the chat and see if there's any questions.
So how does so the worker joins this platform, they sign up. Do they choose which manager node to connect to, or does the manager node whitelist them as like a member of their worker network?
For the first, like this version coming out, this will be like automatic. So there will be an automatic assignment to the manager node that's active. Like we will start with just one, but down the line, it's like a bit of a marketplace. So there can be a lot of manager nodes and there can be a lot of workers, and the discovery process is can be quite advanced, where managers have their array of tasks that they need talent for, and workers have the skill sets. And it's like a gossip network, not too different from other peer-to-peer networks, where there's discovery happening on that level, and you get connections with the managers that you can work for. But this, of course, that happens on the protocol level, and then for worker experience, I think they shouldn't even be aware which manager they're connected to. Like that's something that should happen on protocol level, and the worker itself will just see tasks appear that he has signed up for and that he's ready to do.
And would you say, is there in regards to, so the worker will join and in this beta that you'll have, and initially it'll just be that base pay, right? That verifying that they're, I guess, capable to complete tasks in the time they are clocked in. Is there like a minimum withdrawal limit? Like you have to earn so much before you can start like withdrawing, or how does that gonna work?
Initially, not really, but this is a good. Yeah, Jeff, you can also take it away if you have some input there.
Yeah, I think so. What we had in mind, I think you're kind of hinting at how you're gonna like stop workers from abusing the system, DJ, or are you not?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine if someone can join, say, like, just 1 hour or whatever, and he gets, that fraction,
Yeah.
and creates another account.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the system we had in mind is it's actually very similar to what we have already with staking and unstaking. So we can actually leverage these contracts in a very similar way for workers to get paid. So let's say your payment is basically instant, so a manager pays you for a task. But to claim the payment, we could say like there's a minimum amount of time that it takes before the payment reaches you, or maybe it linearly unlocks in a similar way. So you have the manager or whatever authority on the network has time to basically, let's say your tasks are like deemed not good enough, or yeah, you're deemed as like a griefer on the network, right? Then a manager or whatever authority should have the power of slashing, basically, I think. But this is still a little bit undiscovered, as Jesse already said in the beginning. There's not really like a big system in place to prevent, other than we are going to be monitoring the workers and like very closely follow the task quality for the initial phase, because we need to like we have to keep a close eye on how the network behaves and how the protocol reacts and those kind of things. So in later versions we have to look at systems covering this issue, yeah, for sure. I can also add to that we are experimenting a little bit. It's not in this version yet, but we might ship it in this version. We're not sure yet. But basically, the payout, the passive payout for a worker could be determined by how many tasks he accepts and completes accurately in the last like X amount of time, basically. So like a little formula that increases your passive payments as you complete and basically complete tasks that are deemed like good enough by a manager or a validator. Those are like kind of systems that we're thinking about, right? It shouldn't be it shouldn't be possible for someone to join the network, just sit there and collect the passive payments and rejecting all the tasks. You know, those will be very basic systems that we will have in place for that, so that people cannot do that in the beginning already, right? That's pretty essential things. But there's of course gonna be, people who are gonna be really smart about it, right? And how have to catch those. Yeah, it's something I think for later versions, because it requires a pretty like good algorithm, or like some processes where maybe the DAO is involved. Like it becomes pretty complex very quick. So we opted for basically tackling it later, and now just rolling with like a group of whitelisted workers, basically.
Yeah, I figure such a thing would be hard to anticipate, so just good, logging and monitoring would be the best way. So, because we can't really anticipate how it will be abused without, besides, the obvious ways. But that's good. Do you have an estimate on when like you'll be onboarding like this first like whitelisted, I guess, alpha?
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jesse. You can answer this one.
Sure. Yeah, we're not at the time that we can put an exact launch date on it. I think we need like another month to get the actual dates clear. But we'll definitely have people, like I said, already working on the platform, mainly to test the intrinsics, test the functionality, like at the end of the month. And then before we open up to like the real group of like after that initial testing and things look good, we will open this up to that group of workers that first of all, the ones that obviously pre-registered already, but we'll make it like very soon. We will already start explaining the procedure on how people can register to be part of this early user group on the platform. So yeah, like exact dates are not there yet, but those are the timelines that that we have right now.
And the early beta testing with a small group and things, that also allows us to test out a new support system that we're integrating, because a big thing of, a worker's experience on the platform is how easily can they get support, and get help. So we have a new system that we're going to put in place with this version 0 that we've nicknamed it. So there's a lot of testing, not just on the platform, but also, processes, how we handle tickets, how we resolve things, how we track things. So there's a lot going on right now.
Okay.
Cool. I don't know if we want to cover any more questions about the product, like how things work. Anyone has questions, feel free to also drop them in the chat, of course. I think just maybe to share more information on what I think was important about DJ's previous question, and I think Jeff answered it really well. But we want, of course, to avoid people that can exploit the network by farming fees and like just basically extracting tokens and value from the network without actually providing value, like without actually doing tasks properly, without actually being available there. And the passive income thing is a it's a like thing that could be easily exploited. So we are, like Jeff mentioned, a few metrics, but we are engineering and thinking of the ways to fix this, and we strongly believe that it can work pretty well, but it needs to evolve as well over time. So whatever we come out with in the beginning, we'll try to cover the obvious cases, but the goal of the network, of course, is that anyone online is actually there and that they can contribute that input, that like human input into the network, and label data and do that proficiently. So the system will be engineered in a way that if people don't, they will be removed from that pool, and they will like either be punished or like we will have ways to cancel them out. This obviously goes like, I think there's hardly any other network that is as easy to join as Effect AI, as like you don't need crazy hardware, you don't need insane connectivity. Like it's very easy to join, which means that potentially there's gonna be a lot of like users on the network, which makes like supervision and stuff difficult. And like we were definitely rolling out, so the initial group, like after technical testing, which happens very soon, and this initial group will be like some group that we can supervise and see that all our metrics are working well. So yeah, it's kind of related there as well, that we need a good group of people that are like, and in the early access, obviously there is also higher rewards as people that are in the early access and devote time, and there can of course be technical issues and times that tasks are plenty or scarce. Like this is hard to predict over longer times. So people that are in their early testing and contributing, they will earn like higher rates than is like maintainable on a very large time scale when the network grows, obviously.
Yeah.
Chubby has a question there. When the platform is ready, finally, is it going to be accessible to both new and old workers? Don't know if you want to answer that, Rochelle.
Oh yes, absolutely. So, of course, this version 0, when we roll it out with some beta testers, it'll be small groups. I'll be communicating with people when it's time to onboard a few to test out and things. But then as we roll up, anyone can be able to join, and connect, and you'll have your worker node dashboard and things. As we onboard more people, then tasks will show as available for you to join. But otherwise, yeah, it'll be easy for everyone to join. But then, yeah, in the beginning, not many will be onboarded for this small version. But it'll be easy for anyone, old workers, workers that were with us since like the very, very beginning, and the new people. It'll be really seamless, we hope, for everyone to join. The unfortunate thing is, I know you guys are going to be asking, are your old qualifications from the old platform going to port to this new one? And sadly, the answer is no. It's just not that easy. And those were on one blockchain, and then this is a different blockchain. So it's a huge mess. There's a lot of you that I remember what tasks you did, what, things you were involved in. So of course I'll be, making sure that our diehard community workers who've been with us forever, you guys can get a chance to onboard quick with our beta testing and stuff. I've been working with many of you for quite a few years, and so I'm excited for this. So yeah. And I have records. I can look things up somewhere. So yeah, I'm excited to start this process. This is something that, I've been passionate about since the very beginning and haven't stopped. And so this is an incredible time for me personally. I'm so excited. You have more questions?
Yes. So, oh, you can go ahead and answer, Sharif.
Okay, Sharif says, how about marketing to attract workers and partners? Yes, I knew the marketing call was going to come up. We have marketing plans in place. Right now, it would be senseless to go all out and crazy and ads and, hype and things when nobody can do anything yet because we haven't released version 0 yet. We'll know better in about a month when we can release, but that wouldn't be using our marketing dollars very wisely. So a lot of our marketing depends on too the stage of development and things. So we have things in place. It's just this next month it's kind of seeing how far we can get, and then we can start the process. But yeah, the marketing's coming. How Alan asked, how are you getting on with taking more people on? Good question, Alan. So, I have some news. I see that you guys see Miguel here in the call. Very happy to announce that Miguel has joined our team full time. So it's really incredible. Miguel, I remember, what was it, February? What year was it that you started translating when we had that big Kraft Heinz thing?
Oh my God, I don't even remember. I think it was like
2020.
2019 or 2020, something like that.
Yeah, February of 2020. He started doing tasks on the platform. And I
Thanks, Alan.
noticed he had quality work. Yes, congratulations, Miguel. I noticed he had quality work, and then he was up to one of our validators, in charge of, basically all the Portuguese, the Brazilian Portuguese for that large contracted stuff. And then, Miguel would improve things, work on things here and there for us. And I am so excited to say that he is full-time Effect team member. His first full day was yesterday. So it's been quite a process. So very happy. You're going to see me and Miguel working on all kinds of things alongside Jeffrey and Jesse and Lawrence. So yeah, we're very excited. So big news.
What are your new duties as opposed to before?
Wizard.
Oh, Wizard, yeah. So I'm gonna be kind of the middleman for in terms of connecting you guys, the community, with the team, and kind of the relationship between the two. And then I'm going to be still doing a lot of development work alongside Jesse and Jeffrey, as well as also working with Rochelle with more of the marketing stuff and the community stuff. So kind of a jack of all trades type deal. So I'm really excited to start that off and to kind of push Effect to speed up the process to get all this up and running and get our community growing. So I'm really excited for this.
Sounds good. So, are you currently working with Jesse and Jeffrey on the worker like
Already
tools?
already working on that and helping them out with the like the actual platform there and building as well in the background. And yeah, I can say from what I've seen, it's looking really good. So I'm coming from the community where you know, everything's kind of behind closed doors. I can definitely say that it's looking really good, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome. That's all I can really say. But definitely don't hesitate to you know, to DM me or talk to us on Discord or Telegram. I'm gonna be active, even more active, more so than before, on all that as well. So yeah, and any ideas you guys might have or anything, then you can let me know, and I'll probably be a easier way to contact the team than trying to get Jesse's attention or something like that. So yeah, I'm happy to be a part of the team.
Very, very exciting. I'm so happy. Hannah XOXO says, I still haven't received an email for the beta testers, the one we signed up last year. Is that a thing, or do we do public testing right away? Yes, Hannah, I remember your sign up. Unfortunately, that sign up was back when we were still on EOS, so it was like EOS accounts and people who didn't have EOS accounts and stuff. I'm gonna try to pull up the emails and kind of get a hold of some people when we start onboarding a few beta testers, but mostly I will announce it in the Discord that I'm ready to get some people and get some interest. So please keep watching the chat in the Discord, and I'll make sure to remember to tag you too when we're ready.
That being said, I think though we will definitely try to get anyone on that like registration in that first testing group. I don't. Yeah, the problem was I don't think everyone had an email in there. So we'll do some digging and contact everyone. But if you're on, like, if you were pre-registered there, you are also pre-registered for that for the new testing group. So we will reach out and let us know if you're if you missed that. The email didn't go out yet. So I guess once it goes out, we will also do a little announcement so people can reach out in case they missed it because of the EOS account thing.
Yeah, but I still have the sheet with that, so that will be my first go-to. You're very welcome. She says, thanks for the response. You're very welcome. Yes, you guys mean a lot to me, and I want to make sure everyone is, you know, still has a chance, because of course I appreciate the time you guys put in before filling out the form and your interest. Do you want non-tech people to test? Asks Adeline. I'll be looking for all kinds of people to test. I'll be, looking for people to try to find bugs or things that are wrong so we can fix. I'll be calling on a few people to, hey, try to scam this stuff, and we want to see, how you can do it. Like, yeah, there's going to be all kinds of testing. What do you guys in the dev world call that testing? I know you guys have a term for it.
Beta testing or like edge case testing. Although I do think that it is a good idea to have kind of a nice range of different types of people, technical and not technical. So I definitely think it'd be a good idea to have a few non-technical people, because sometimes, even though if you're not a developer or something, like, you might have a certain way of thinking that someone that might not be as technical just might not get right away. So and we'd like to test all the aspects of the platform for any walks of life that may use it.
And that also makes us be better prepared, with the onboarding support and documentation and like how-to guides and things. So that's a
Yeah,
big part
exactly.
of it.
The beta testers are definitely going to be a huge help to the initial launch of the platform.
For the initial tasks to be tested, do you have a good idea? Because I remember you mentioned this before, Jesse, that for Effect to thrive, we need to fit that niche of human work for stuff LLMs can't yet replace. And so we can't necessarily just, do the traditional micro tasks because that wouldn't necessarily be impressive in the time of LLMs. Do we have a handle on like kind of like these different types of tasks that humans would be best at?
Yeah, this is an interesting topic to think about and talk about. It shifts so fast these days. Where that bar, like, where's the difference? Like, it's indeed wild, like what's happening now, and LLMs can do so many things. And I think it only gets more valuable now. What the human like value is, like that part is getting extremely important. And like which tasks that are, I think it changes pretty quickly. Like you sent this to me, DJ, recently about MCP, and I've been looking closely into it. But the range of digital tasks that LLMs can do is just increasing so much. There is a few like that we're definitely like looking into right now that I think will definitely just be valuable. And that's quite actually a range of tasks out there that I think will definitely be useful. For one, like we have some requests also from actual for actual use cases for people that want to compare LLMs. Basically, when you think about slightly modified LLMs, or people are trying to make LLMs way more specialized in certain tasks, for example, using RAGs, using like really smart prompting, or perhaps even some fine tuning, or just doing model distillation. But often the question is then like, which LLM performs better, or does this one perform better than like the baseline or the model that it was distilled from? So that judging of who does better is something that's like a very lively type of environment now, where there's a lot of data going around, and like that's something we will definitely be offering, and that makes sense. Of course, for that to work, we need to be very sure that our workforce is actually human. So that goes sort of hand in hand, as those tasks are also like not extremely difficult and very subjective. I think things that are like a lot of the tasks that humans are really good at will be very subjective ones, which means it's extremely important we identify all of our like nodes, all the people, all the workers as being actual human and being there and putting time in. But like, yeah, comparing different, like almost like LLM arena, but then slight variations that are more, make it very easy for people to see if their model improves on it's like subjective rating. And like there's other things that we were also that we're also right now thinking about adding. Some things are in the sense of content moderation, some things are in the range of like what we're still seeing when it comes to whisper transcriptions and like technical terminology and terminology that's being used in certain like communities, to have that, like to create data sets that will able to fine tune whisper so the transcriptions become very accurate. For example, DAO calls where some terminology just is not in LLM's knowledge or in whisper's transcription skill set. Yeah, there's more, but this is an interesting topic. We've put together like a board with all the thoughts and all the task types that we know of, and some of them people are asking for, some of them we're sort of making up and experimenting with. But I think this is also a great one to involve more people with and to do a bit more publicly. I was thinking about as there might be a lot of interest and ideas from the community. Like what are some sectors that we can really shine when it comes to human input. But yeah, great topic, great discussion point as well. This clarifies a little bit my thoughts on it.
Yeah, all those.
Just-
Like, oh, go ahead, Rochelle.
I was gonna say prompt mining is another one.
Yeah, all those are good suggestions. I think, as you stated, the marketing will come after the platform was there, but we can't just be a traditional microtasking company anymore because much of that work is all going to be obsoleted. So yeah, like comparing, because there's constantly new LLMs being dropped, getting a good benchmark system is actually an interesting idea, like interesting challenge. Because the thing is, if there's some test for LLMs and it's public, and then that LLM, if like its new data set contains the answers, so it's kind of cheating a little bit, right? When it generates those answers, like it's not like zero-shotting it. So like there needs to be like some sort of benchmarks that are constantly changing with the changing LLMs, so they don't like just learn the answer. They have to like intuitively, logic out the answer. So yeah, I think that will be a great tool and a great way to market because people are going to be wanting to see why Effect is good and useful for this rapid AI transformation that we're seeing. So it will be definitely important to match, unique types of tasks that we don't really see that often integrate with AI like development to really stand out.
Yeah, like there's a lot of companies that build like a new chat that's, and for example, customer support for some kind of blogging or something, and then question is always is actually better than like I don't know 0.7 or something, or like the latest. Like people want to know if it's actually better, and that's something you can. Yeah, that will be a very, I think, good kickoff task. That's one of the ones I'm excited about, and I know that people are looking for. If we make it very simple for them to do that comparison and get a good grade back, and potentially we could even, I think there that benchmarking and like the LLM arena type stuff that's going to be so important going forward. It's growingly important, and that's something we can offer extremely well.
Yeah, that would be, I think, definitely because in the initial months we won't have the requester SDK system, right? It will be all tasks, managed by the foundation, right?
Yeah, that's true. In the initial like release, we are gonna really focus on the functionality from what we want to get out of this is that are we getting high quality, like reliable data from our network? It's actually like before we want to, as a network, even approach clients, I think we want to at least be able to say this, like have a grip on how much data can come out of there and is it good and high quality. So the first iterations will focus mainly on that. It also gives us a little bit of time to actually like make the interface to companies like nice. It's not easy, but we need to make sure it's well documented. There's technical integrations that fit people. Like the Python SDK we have like needs to, I think, fit in there the next, because I still believe that's really important. But or even the user interface, like we need to work and iterate on those. But yeah, initially we will have quite a rudimentary system for adding tasks, and like it's basically an API that we'll probably host. We might give some people access to that earlier on, but yeah, getting complete freedom to post what you want on the network, that part will, like before we get that user friendly, will be a bit down the line. Like cannot name dates on that, but it will be after we're assured that the output is good that we're seeing on the first few iterations.
Right. Yeah, so it will be good to have all these tasks, as you said, prove that the workforce can be made reliable, and also kind of market effect as, you know, breaking new ground in microtasking. Yeah, like even having like our own like effect, brand benchmarks would be cool too. Like what is superior for what and stuff like that. It would be cool to get into break into like the benchmarking, because that's just another way to market by creating your own tests to test LLMs with.
True. Potentially something that can get some traction, like because people are indeed looking for these. It's a bit of a competition, right? Every company coming out with some big model all the time that's supposedly better. Like to have a proper like human validated subjective what do human find better benchmark is indeed, I think, potentially very very like something that can get traction by publishing that publicly and having the effect ranking on these models as an extra one that people can refer to on what's better, can be very cool.
Yeah, I remember last year there was a push to get some integrations with Hugging Face to enhance data sets. And I remember you mentioned also like perhaps build LoRa's specific for LMMs. So yeah, I mean I think we can go on all day about the possible things, but I just wanted to underline the point that it'll be good to break into effects, release of the beta with tasks highly relevant, to the AI industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Alan asks, is there anyone else who's working to achieve what effect is? Perhaps Synthesis one, but they're like doing pretty bad right now. But that's the only one I can really think that's like like somewhat close to what effect aspires to do, but not necessarily on the same thing.
Yeah, I've been looking around too for a while, and definitely not really in the crypto space. There's not really anything like effect, which is really good. I guess if people want to kind of look more in the centralized spaces, there are a bunch of microtasking platforms out there, but again, nothing really similar to effect, and it's also just a lot more difficult to one just to get into those centralized microtasking platforms. Like everyone knows the what's it called, the Amazon Turker community, or there's a bunch of them. But the main thing is just the ease of getting in, the ease of use is horrible, and the the kind of micro tasks that you do there are pretty rudimentary. I think the most complicated ones are maybe just like translations and stuff, but I mean that's about it. And I know also, I think it was Hive Mapper has their you can be like a map, you can train their maps now that they get from their dash cams, and I think maybe that's the only thing that might be a little similar, but they're kind of just training on their own stuff and they don't really do anything else. But it would be nice to maybe even integrate with them, or talk to them about like a partnership or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah, months
Bring their
ago,
stuff onto our platform.
Jesse and I we discussed like how AI agents will be existing like on the like when we did the migration, that AI agents on the Solana platform, they will be able to trade their way, and they will need compute, right? And then as they're building stuff, they'll also can use human workforce. And so that's what I was thinking of the MCP servers, like down the line. I don't think we need to worry about it happening like in the next 2 months or something, but down the line, as AI agents trade crypto on Solana, they buy compute to do stuff, and then they're gonna wanna buy the humans to also do stuff like whatever it may be. And so having a good API to deal with documentation will be solid. I think, from what I understand, that's how MCP servers work. Like they include the documentation in the API, so the AI knows what to do. It's still new to me, but um, it'll be good to
I gotta look into that as well. MCP servers there.
yeah, people make it so like you can use Blender, for example, like it's like an API
Oh,
server
that's how they
for
were doing it.
Blender.
Yeah, I saw some people do that actually.
And
That's pretty cool.
I assume it can be, for any application really. You just kind of, it's like LLM first type design, really. Like you expect only
Yeah.
LLMs to interact with this API server rather than humans building tools or whatever.
Yeah. On Alan, to the question of how easy would it be for someone to duplicate us? I mean, you can see how much work it's that's going into just effect, right? Like there's a lot of stuff involved. Um, I guess it'd be maybe a bit easier if someone already kind of had a platform for it, but like we were saying, there's not really anyone, especially in the crypto space, that um is even similar to effect in many regards. So I wouldn't be too worried about that.
The copies would come after the first mover it becomes popular, and then
Yeah,
everyone's like, oh, we should
exactly.
do that. And then, so from my understanding in AI, like AI coding, for example, is getting really good. Like I use O1 Pro to build me applications, and I'm just
Mhm.
connecting things together. Um, but from what I understand, if the cost of software approaches zero and AI is an open source tool, I mean, there'll definitely be copycats. But no one's gonna want to copy it until people realize it's gonna be useful, which was gonna happen once this is all set up.
Yeah.
So it will be the first mover advantage we'd have. Uh, so we will need to maintain the lead once that happens. It's
Well, in that case, that's a pretty good position to be in if everyone kind of wants to copy you. That means you're doing something right, and I see the value in it. So
yeah,
I'd
the network
I'd be
effects
happy.
are going to be only more important down the line because I mean that's what AI is. It's bringing the cost of labor to zero for everything, right? So all that matters is who
Mhm.
knows who's connected to who wants to buy what. Like marketing becomes king. So yeah, we definitely it's probably our last chance really this year, in my opinion.
I think
I agree.
we
Yeah,
got
that
it in
the
time for.
space changed so much, right? It's a whole different. I think we're doing something now that's novel, that's new, because we're like the new age of AI with the LLMs as they are, and we're going to be that product. So right now there is, I would say, no one actually doing that. Like microtasking, as it used to be, as we used to do, is I think even different. Like RLHF, it's still relevant, right? Where where you make data sets and train models and stuff, but it's getting less and less so, I would say. And in this new, yeah, and in the new AI industry, what human data means and how it's applied, and like that's different. And if we become that, right? If we are, like DJ said in our previous discussion, was about the what if AI wants to do something in the physical world and wants to have humans do something, then that's something we can, that effect AI can be used for, like this genuine human input on, or feedback even on things that AI does. And the MCP scenario, I can also see as like, for example, you need I can see us operate there. I'm still digging into this more, and I've been playing around with it a little bit, and it's very interesting. But I think that the human feedback step there is also important, where either having a human do something through an MCP, or MCPs often, like, I think, have an approval still necessary, as they're kind of risky. So getting approval from a network of humans just to make sure
Oh, that's true.
nothing silly happens when on some of these actions. Yeah, very interesting stuff. But definitely this year is the year, like, that it needs to happen. Yeah, before, I think there's going to be a lot of companies popping up in this space to do similar things that we're aiming to do.
Yeah, you make a good point, Jesse, is that what I read about MCPs is this sort of design, like depending on LLMs for your API, is a non-deterministic. Like basically you could get 99.9% good results and then something like completely bad. Like that's inevitable if you like use it as a API where you're calling it thousands of times, right? And so the question is, how do you deal with this error where like it's not the error is on how it's going to be an error you don't know, like because like with regular APIs you know what failure is, right? With these it's sometimes unanticipated. So yeah, it will be interesting if humans can be used to help alleviate the risks of a non-deterministic type API.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's these risky things. There's these stories out there of like users of Cursor or some other AI programming aid that then wiped their code base and they didn't have a backup and like lost it.
Yeah.
I mean, this happens.
Yeah, I'm too afraid to use Cursor exactly for that. Like it's like I check every single step myself first, just in case.
If you let it go, then it's not probably not gonna end well. You need to guide it. So yeah, there's a lot of these elements, and it's moving fast. So much happens. Like we are shaping. I think we need to make sure that what we're building gonna fit what the future looks like. So that's also an important part. But yeah, we start with the steps, getting our product out in this first sort of shape with the right tasks to demonstrate and show people, and like to work very closely with LLMs and how we see LLMs and to be visible associated there. I think these are all things that are right around the corner for us and are definitely necessary. And we do need to move fast. I totally agree with that statement.
All right. Are there any more updates? I think the only thing I'd add is, aside from all we discussed, it'll also be good to have a solid roadmap, just written out.
Yeah. You cut out and I don't hear anyone. I'm not sure if my connection
Oh, yeah,
is
maybe.
okay.
Sometimes you cut out. Go ahead. Yeah. The
Ah,
roadmap.
okay. My connection is a bit shaky, but the roadmap question I heard. So the whole team agrees that it's important to get the roadmap out there. We will definitely get that done. Like there needs to be more clearance on where we're going, and we've been a bit too focused now on what we're doing right now and getting that out there, like really timely, and figuring out what needs to be in there and what can come a bit later, and we're right in the middle of that. So that's just being transparent that we've had a lot of meetings. So like we feel we need that sorted, and then we will plot everything that's not going to be in the first release, and when is that coming out, that we will plot on the roadmap together with some more exciting plans that we would love to share with everyone. So roadmap is, yeah, we recognize the importance, and that's all I can say right now. But we will have one, and
Yeah.
just asking for the bit of patience there. But I know it's an important one for the community as well to see what's coming up.
yeah, combining that with because we just need a good white paper too, an updated one compared to the ones like what's 7 years old now.
Absolutely, yeah. We have one in progress that Jeffrey's been adding a lot to when it comes to like protocol architecture. But then there is a second part of the white paper that is a lot about the vision and what we're trying to achieve, and like the explanation on why the protocol like is there. That also needs a rewrite, refresh, like a complete a new formatting. So also like don't have a concrete update, but we do have a code base where updates are being made, and something for us to also take into this discussion. Absolutely. Yeah, the white paper is definitely something that also people coming into the project, I think, will, giving the history and how confusing things can get, that it's really good to give them that point of deep, well thought out content they can refer to. Next to also like what the current white paper revamp is mainly on the technical protocol side. That's what I was trying to say. That's still lacking a bit of the explanation and the deeper, like the philosophical and the more like the vision of what we're doing.
Well, I mean, big picture wise, what I envision, with how technology is so rapidly changing, and stuff, I envision what we do sets like the standard for people wanting to work remotely, and earn from anywhere. I think what we're setting out to do, if we can set the standard of this is how it is, and then other people start doing that too, then I think we accomplish what we initially set out and back in 2017. So that's me thinking on super big picture.
Well, yeah, the future is incredibly hard to predict. So all we can know for certain is that as agents start, popping up, being entrepreneurs, and you covered this with saying that how it will be AI employing workers down the line. Just having a good system in place for them to be able to do that. So like on Solana, can you buy compute, which is the AI part, and then can you buy humans, can you employ humans to work for you? That will be the other component. And then with that, you can just build a self-autonomous business, basically, right? When you have both machines and humans ready to do stuff. So all this is like really hype, and so having it all written out and being like, this is what we aspire to do, I think that would be a great way to market. That's my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. We agree completely with you there.
All right, is there anything else you wanted to share?
Not from my side, no. I think these were at least updates from our end, and thanks for the contribution and input from you, DJ, and questions from the community. Yeah, I don't see anything more, so I think we can wrap up the call here.
All right, let's then adjourn, and hopefully next call we have a working the beta, right? That you can demonstrate and demo to us, right?
Absolutely, yeah. That's the goal. Next call, if it's in about a month.
All right, sounds great.
All right. Thanks,
Have
everyone.
a good
Have
day,
a good
night,
one.
morning.
Until next time.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Nice comment, Steve. That's funny.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Bye,
No.
guys.
Bye.